It is time to make a decision. Should I buy the Oklahoma Joe or the Traeger? First off, I'd like to thank everybody that's watched the videos already on this Oklahoma Joe versus Traeger. Which one should I buy? I appreciate everybody leaving comments and really appreciate you watching the playlist. If you don't know where that is and you want to know everything there is about these smokers, that playlist is right in the description below or at the end of the video. I also like to thank Traeger and Oklahoma Joe for sending me these smokers to give this a try. It's been a fun experiment, but it is time to make a final decision, and that's what we're going to do in today's video. Before we jump into the video, I want to let you know where the channel is going from here. We're going to keep doing comparisons in our backyard to keep improving our backyard barbecue skills, especially in the smoker game. And I'm going to continue to focus on offset smokers. I'm going to work on buying a cheap one right off of Facebook Marketplace and see if we can make great barbecue with the cheapest smoker we can buy. I'm also going to buy a more expensive smoker with thick steel because I get a lot of questions about that in our Facebook Kingsford Stockade 49-inch group. Everybody wants to know, can I make the jump from an inexpensive smoker to a high-end smoker? What's that like? And honestly, I want to have a very nice thick steel offset smoker in my backyard. So let's jump into this video right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to score on a couple different categories. We're going to talk about technology, the difference between these and what the score was, the food, the smoke flavor. We're also going to talk about the community of which smoker brings what community to the table when you buy one of these, along with some other topics. So let's jump right into it. Right off the bat, let's talk technology. Hands down, Traeger all the way on this one. I scored it a 5 out of 5. Why? Because the technology links right up to my Wi-Fi connection at home, which I can then check on my phone from anywhere on the planet. This worked out great this past weekend when I was at a party and I wanted to make sure that this was still running like it was supposed to. And I flipped over my phone, turned on the app, and guess what? I was able to know exactly how my Traeger was doing. Oklahoma Joe, on the other hand, has no type of technological advances like that where you can check on your phone. You have to trust that it is running, which for me is very, very nerve-wracking because I lose sleep or don't go to sleep in the middle of the night if I don't have 100% confidence that it's running without a glitch. So for me, the Oklahoma Joe, when it comes to technology and all the mishaps I've had that you've seen in the other videos, technology is just scoring a 1 out of 5. It is what it is. It's just like my 2013 Traeger, which I didn't love because of the technology. It just wasn't there. Traeger takes this one. Let's talk about food. Food, Oklahoma Joe edged out Traeger. As far as pellet smokers go, I gave the Oklahoma Joe a 4 out of 5 for producing better food. The look of the food had a better, more traditional barbecue look to it. It had deeper profiles like it'd been on a smoker or a Weber. It just looked like barbecue you'd get from a restaurant. Traeger, the coloring just didn't form as well, so I only gave it a 3 out of 5. And from a flavor standpoint, most of the time you could barely tell the difference. But in some of our videos, like the chicken one, Traeger took the cake, but some of the other videos, Oklahoma Joe, they won when it came to the overall flavor, like the ribs. Once again, 3 out of 5 and a 4 out of 5 when it comes to pellet smokers and the type of food they produce. All right, let's talk community for a second, because both of these have very, very passionate communities. I would say, and let me be clear, I'm not going to give this one a score, but I do want to make people aware that they are getting into a community, and some of this community is pretty sensitive. Traeger, for example, has a very passionate community, and people that have Traegers love their Traegers, and you're made aware of that. They let you know that they have a Traeger, and if you have a Traeger, you instantly have a community that you can talk barbecue all day with, which is pretty cool. All right, but if you're more laid back, that might be a little bit overwhelming, especially when people come to a party and they just start talking about their Traeger. Oklahoma Joe has a community that everybody I've talked to, they're just awesome people. They're not afraid to share their trials that we've all been having with the Oklahoma Joe. I shouldn't say all, but a lot of people have had similar problems with their temperatures. Whereas, for example, on Instagram, I've seen people break out in fights if you mention anything negative about Traeger or how the food came out. All right, that's just the nature of the beast. I'll say it. I'm not afraid to. Oklahoma Joe, I just feel like those people are like, yeah, I got an Oklahoma Joe, I got a Weber, I got an offset smoker. They're more willing to be open, where Traeger, it's ride or die. It's either you're all in or you're only on your way out. So I just want to make sure you're aware, because those are two different communities. Some people gravitate towards a different community a little bit differently. So I wanted to share that with you. Let's talk about build and structure of these smokers. All right, I get this question a lot, actually. I was surprised because when people are walking through Walmart or Home Depot and they lift the lid on one of the cheaper pellet smokers, they find that it's very flimsy and they're very nervous, because a lot of people, you know, they don't see these in Home Depot sometimes or Walmart, so they're not sure when they're ordering online what they're getting. Both of these are very structurally, the build on them is phenomenal. All right, I gave the Traeger a 5 out of 4, and I gave the Oklahoma Joe a 4 out of 5. And the Oklahoma Joe is a beast, but when I counted structure and build, I also included assembly. Traeger just made it so foolproof to assemble this with their online app, just walking you through it. They also had the paper copy, everything you needed. It was so easy to assemble, I was a bit surprised. Oklahoma Joe was easy, but there was just one little thing that I showed in my first video that this is new to them. All right, I think they're getting feedback from consumers on the flaws they have, and they're going to make it better. I am sure of that. Oklahoma Joe, I had to call customer service. I mean, that brand, I love it because they're just, you can just tell the people that work there, even at customer service, love this brand. But this is their first iteration of a pellet smoker, and I think hopefully the feedback they're getting will make small tweaks to make this even better. But for build and structure, Traeger, it was just edged it out. But I mean, 5 out of 5 versus 4 out of 5, we're splitting hairs. All right, we're dealing with the smoker, so let's talk smoke flavor. When it comes to pellet smokers, if you use a traditional offset smoker or something like a Kamado Joe that gives you really rich flavors of smoke, pellet smokers might not give you that deep flavor that you're looking for. And when it comes to these pellet smokers, I scored the Traeger at a 2 out of 5. Yes, that's right, 2 out of 5. It just, all the meals I had, even on low settings, I wasn't getting hit with any smoke flavors. All right, it just was not penetrating. A little hint of it, maybe for me. My wife seemed to enjoy it. It hit her palate just right. But for me, I never really picked up on a lot of smoke flavor. I picked up on the seasoning. Oklahoma Joe, I did get more smoke flavor, which is kind of mind-blowing, because if you saw in the early on videos, I was having a lot of technical difficulties with getting the temperature right. But once I set it on low or 200, there's a couple videos that just show this. This thing was a smoke box. There was smoke coming out of every exit it could make, and that gave it a better smoke flavor when it comes to pellet smokers. It just engulfed the protein with a lot of smoke, and for me, that edged it out. It gave a good flavor profile that I was more used to. So I give that a 4 out of 5, and Traeger only a 2 out of 5 when it comes to the smoke profile. Let's talk support, and I'm talking recipe support, and that's websites. I scored both of them 4 out of 5. All right, here's the difference though. Traeger's website, when you search recipes, there are literally hundreds of recipes on every single type of protein, it seems. Like the beef Wellington, beef, pork, so many. Oklahoma Joe has a little bit leaner of a selection. Now that's okay, because for me, I kind of get overwhelmed. There's too many options. What should I cook this weekend? Well, the flank steak looks good. The flank steak marinated looks really good. The flank steak, if you turn it upside down, that also looks really good. And I end up not cooking any of it. Where Oklahoma Joe, if you go to look up a recipe, they normally have one per that category of protein, if they have that. And for me, that's actually okay, because I'm like, you know what? They kept it simple, and I want to do it that way. So could Traeger scale down some of their website to give you more precise options? Probably. Could Oklahoma Joe add to their website to give you more options and more recipes? Probably. So both of them, they're user-friendly, they're easy on the eyes. I score them both 4 out of 5. Before we get into the final tally, I just want to remind everybody to check out ComparisonCooking.com. If you want to get up-to-date information on the latest backyard barbecue smoking, you're going to want to check out the site and sign up for the newsletter. If I did my math correctly, just so we stay on task, I'm going to let you know I scored Traeger 19 and I scored Oklahoma Joe 17. So what does that mean? Well, number one, it means I can do math. But number one for me is Traeger. We are going home, or I should say, the Traeger is staying home with me. And as much as it pains me, the Oklahoma Joe already has a new home lined up, and that person is super excited to get it. This is a beast of machine, and let me explain to you, because it doesn't really make a lot of sense when the smoke flavor and the food flavor, which is primarily the thing you want, right? You want really good food and you want good smoke flavor. Oklahoma Joe delivered. But for me and the things I need in my life, I need a sure thing. And that comes down to the technology of the Traeger. I can play around with getting a smoke tube, which I'm going to do very soon, to make a deeper smoke flavor. I hate that I have to buy a smoke tube because this is a smoker, but I would rather play with the recipes, play with the smoke on technology that I know if I set this up at 10 o'clock at night and I want to wake up in the morning without having to worry about it. That's the Traeger for me. If I want to run across town and go to a friend's party, I can check the app. Do I need to run home real quick to check on my smoker? No. I know that the technology is helping me along. And that's what I want. I want to have a true set it and forget it. And the Oklahoma Joe just isn't there for me yet. It is so close. It is, hopefully the next time they upgrade their technology, it's going to be there, because it is one hell of a smoker. It really is. So for me, Traeger all the way. Now, if you're in the $600 range, because this is a $600 smoker, all right, and you're looking at the $600 Oklahoma Joe, which has the dial technology, versus a $600 Traeger that has the dial technology, if you're in that price range, I would go Oklahoma Joe. If you have an unlimited price range and you're ready to spend $1,000, I would actually go a step up from the Pro 780 to the Ironwood series, because they have a super smoke flavor or sensor setting on there, because they know they have to engulf it with smoke to get a deeper flavor. So that one's a little bit more expensive than the Pro 780. I'm very happy with this. I'm going to be able to play with this and make good food. So for me, if you have an unlimited budget, I'm buying the technology, because I can play with the smoke settings, I can play with the smoke tube, I can play with recipes. If you are looking at a $600 pellet option, I would go Oklahoma Joe over a $600 Traeger with that dial technology. This has been a very hard decision because I like both these brands a lot. I'm really pulling for the Oklahoma Joe, but I'm ultimately settling for the Traeger because of the technology. I hope you guys have found this series helpful. I hope you subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. Make sure to give this a huge thumbs up and share this with your friends, because they are going to want to know what's going to be better for them. And I hope that this video has helped deliver that. You guys, as always, have been wonderful, and I hope you have a great day.